Well, hello everyone, Lock Garden and Bird Lady here, and I finally have a lock video for you guys. I know my lock videos are usually few and far in between, but I just don't have a lot that happens with my locks, a lot to talk about. But I was thinking about some things today, and I decided that I would do a video on surprises that I had during my locks, things that I found out, or just I guess it's something I love, like most people say, things I wish I've known before I started my locks. So let's jump right into it. So if this is not your first time coming to my channel, welcome back. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time, welcome. I hope that you do decide to stay and join the family by hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell. This is a very diverse channel. I do all types of videos. Like I always say, I never know when I'm going to post until like the night before or the day of. So just subscribe, hit the bell, and just be prepared to be surprised. And I post each video with the intentions on being informative. This video here, I guess the first thing that I would say, I've had my locks for, I think April will make 4 years that I've had my locks. So there's a lot that I learned since I've had my locks. I've had a lot of trials, I had a lot of errors, I've had a lot of mistakes with having my locks because I just didn't know. And excuse my bleach stain on my shirt. I am off today, so I am doing a lot of cleaning, and I'm doing a break from cleaning, so I decided to jump and do a video while I was resting from cleaning. Yeah, so I have reached my goal of bra strap length in less than 4 years, so I think I did pretty good. Me being dramatic. I guess the first thing would be, before I had my locks, I wish I would have known that you cannot retwist your hair a lot, that you have to let your hair go a period of time without retwisting. So there are going to be some days when you're going to have some edges that look like this and some roots that look like this. So I wish I would have known that, because when I would see people with locks, I would love their locks, but I would say things like, if I ever dread my hair up, and in the South we say dread, if I ever dread my hair up, mine is going to look like micro braids or box braids all the time. You're going to see my scalp all the time. I'm not going to have all that new growth. That's what I would say. But I did not know until once I started my locks that you cannot retwist your hair as much. And with me interlocking my hair, that I really had to wait about 3 or 4 months before I interlock my hair again in order for my hair to stay healthy. I could do every 8 weeks, but I decided to do every 3 to 4 months just because, you know, I've had damage in my hair from color, and because my locks are so small that I really want to give them, you know, that time to rest. So I would say I interlock my hair about 3 to 4 times a year. And I'm actually thinking about going to twice a year. I'm thinking about doing it every 6 months. Now don't get it twisted. I wash my hair a lot, I clean my hair, and everything is just the actual retightening of my hair. So what I was saying about like my edges, especially post COVID, I'm not going to sit in nobody's chair, let nobody touch my hair. I don't want nobody breathing on me. So my edges are just, because I got that real, you know, that real type of, we're not going to use the word nappy. We're going to say I got real, true, natural hair. I got real, true, natural hair. I actually started looking up online relaxing edges with locks and texturizing edges with locks, because the struggle is real. I'm like, my edges, they just roll up and they're just so thick and they're just so coarse, and I'm like, oh, I got to do something. And I don't believe in baby hairs. You know, I'm 37. I don't believe in baby hairs. I'm a grown woman. I don't do the baby hairs. Baby hairs look weird to me. I'm sorry, they just look weird to me. But that's one thing that I wish I would have known, is that your hair is, it is going to look messy, but you still can make it. See, I think this style right here looks okay. And all I did was take it and just do it like that. But I wish I would have known that you can't retwist your hair as much. And something else I wish I would have known before starting my lock journey is that the shrinkage. And I know you're probably thinking that's common sense, but no, I did not think that my hair would shrink, because my hair was actually, it was actually longer than my locks before I locked my hair, when it was straightened out. So here's a picture. I'll put it over here. So my hair was actually longer than my actual locks are now, whenever my hair was pulled down. So when I did a 2-strand twist on my locks, it came like right here, and I thought my locks would stay there, but they shrank all the way up to here. And I'm putting pictures. I'm hoping that I can find pictures, and I'm putting pictures of all this over here. So I did not understand that my hair would shrink. My hair is still shorter than it was 4 years ago before I started my locks. So I wish I would have known that my hair was going to shrink up so much. But I think it's worth it because I went through a lot these last few years, and it was like starting all the way over. So pretty much all this growth here, minus maybe like 2 inches, is just straight growth. So I do like that. But it would have been nice to have this growth on top of that hair that was already like armpit length. That would have been nice. But I wish I would have known about, the shrinkage, how bad my hair was going to shrink up. And it took my hair so long to actually start growing, and I said this in another video. It took my hair a long time to start growing because it seemed like the first year or two, or year and a half, my hair was doing more of just shrinking and budding. And once it stopped budding, because it seemed like the more it grew, it shrank right back up, and it'll grow some more, and then it'll shrink right back up. And I get a retwist, and it looked like the retwist was making my hair look short. I'm like, what is really going on? So my hair really didn't start taking off and start dropping down until maybe like the second year of my hair being locked. And I'm sorry, the focus is off because the glare on my glasses. I'm sorry. The next thing that I wish I would have known is that hair texture does matter. Hair texture does matter, and the reason that I say that is goes back to the shrinkage, because I have what they call, I think they call it 4C, 4C type hair. I have that really kinky hair that shrinks up more than 75% the actual length of my hair. So of course my locks do the same thing. So I have people who have started their locks after me, and their locks are like the same length of mine, if not longer, and I'm looking like, man, their hair grows really fast. And come to find out, when they start showing me pictures and I start looking, I'm like, well, they never had to go through that whole shrinkage thing. It's just like when you're loose natural, people who have hair like mine, 4C hair, our hair looks so short compared to other people's hair who have a looser curl pattern. And the same thing with locks. With locks, you don't lose your curl pattern. Your locks just kind of make around your curl pattern. So if you have hair that naturally doesn't shrink up as much as 4C hair, then your budding is going to be a lot longer. I hope this is making sense how I'm trying to explain this. The budding, because I have one girl, and I'm like, man, I was like, what do you do? She's like, my hair hasn't grown a lot. And I'm like, your hair is, you started 2 years after I did, and your hair is almost as long as mine. Like, what are you doing? And then she began to start showing me pictures of when she got her hair locked. And the shrinkage that I experienced, it never came for her. Her hair was a lot shorter than mine was when I first started my locks. Like, my hair was down to here. I think hers was like up to here. And her locks started budding like right here. And I'm like, that's crazy. That is so crazy. But my locks start budding way up here. So I wish I would have known that my hair texture did really play a lot. But I wouldn't take it back for the world. I'm just saying just some things that I wish I would have known. So for people who have looser curl patterns, their locks, they do tend to be thicker or puffier or fluffier or fuller. And they don't lock up as tight, because that's what she was saying. She was saying that she wanted her locks to be, tight like mine. But I'm like, but I have a tight curl pattern. So of course my locks are going to be, specific to my curl pattern. Just like my brother. My brother has, I don't know what happened with me, but my brother has really loose curl pattern. I mean, maybe like 3C or something like that. Curl pattern. He's not even in the 4s, he's in the 3s. My brother has really loose curl pattern. So when he got his locks didn't shrink up. They didn't shrink. And it took his locks forever to actually lock. It took it forever. And that's what she was saying about her hair. It took her hair a while to start budding. But it's because of the difference in the curl patterns. So yes, 4C hair is really good hair for locking, because our hair tends to lock a lot faster because our curl pattern is a lot tighter. But texture does matter, and your hair texture does determine how your locks look. I wish I would have known that, because I patterned my locks around people who had a looser curl pattern, and I have more locks than they do. But their hair is a lot fuller, because even as a loose natural, their hair would have been fuller because they have that looser curl pattern. I hope this is making sense. Those who have a looser curl pattern, their hair is automatically, you know, just out to here. Ours stick to our head and we have to do something to it, blow it out or something like that to make it look fuller, even though our hair is very thick. So same thing with locks. And that's one thing I didn't take into consideration, is my locks wouldn't look like theirs because their curl pattern was completely different than mine. Of my hair, I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying some things I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known how heavy they were. When I wash my hair now, I was washing my hair the other night and I was holding my head back and I'm like, oh my god, my neck hurts so bad. They are extremely heavy, so I wish I would have known how heavy they are, especially mainly when wet. Another thing I wish I would have known, I guess it kind of goes back with what I just said, is that big thick hair that I had as a loose natural, that I can achieve as a loose natural. I can't achieve that with having locks unless I curl them or manipulate them in some kind of way, just like with being a loose natural. Because with loose natural, when your hair gets longer, your hair starts to grow out. With locks, when your hair gets longer, your hair starts to grow down. It starts to just fall because it's heavy, so it starts to grow down. So I'm thinking I'm about to have this, like, you know, and they're still pretty thick, but that big hair that I'm used to, that my big hair, I'm just gonna say my signature big hair that I used to wear all the time, that was gonna be gone forever. And that's one thing I did not think about. Now that's one thing that I do miss about having the shorter locks, because when I had my shorter locks, they did stick out and it made my hair look a lot bigger from my head. But once they start growing out, they just drop down and they're growing straight down, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Another thing that I wish I would have known is my hair will not look like the next person's hair. The main person there were two people that I paired in my hair around, kind of three, but it was just two main that I'm going to talk about. The first one was Kaya Journey. I think she's changed her name on YouTube, and I'll put it here. I think it's like Nardia or something. I'll put it over here somewhere. But this is like the main person that I patterned my locks around, Kaya Journey. And she is she's just so beautiful to me. I love her Jamaican accent. I love watching her. And her locks made me get locks, because I wanted them for a while, but when I saw her dreads, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting them now. It was like a Netflix marathon. I actually binge watched her videos one day just to find out if she would ever say how many locks she has. So I finally found a video where she talked about how many locks she has. So she ended up having 296 or 297 locks. And so I'm like, okay, so when I do my hair, I'm going to have at least 297. I started out with 315. I have 312 now. And my locks look nothing like hers. Nothing. I love my locks, but they don't look anything like her locks. And I wanted someone who had smaller locks, and when I saw her, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Smaller locks without it being sister locks. Even though her locks started out being sister locks, she combined them and now they're just, you know, micro locks or just smaller locks. But my locks look nothing like her locks. Nothing like her locks. In which I'm happy with my locks, but I'm just saying I had this image in my mind that my locks were going to come out, you know, really like hers. And you have to take a lot of things into consideration. This is a whole video by itself. I'll probably do a video on this next. The maintenance, environment, whether you palm roll or you interlock, how often you do it. There's so many, in hair texture, there's so many different factors that go into it. So another one was Patience Edette. I loved her locks, not only because of the color. I tried to achieve that color, but that's traumatized, and I went through a lot. But Patience Edette is another one that I would always see whenever I would pull up anything about locks or women with dreadlocks online. I would see Patience Edette, and I don't know if her locks are sister. They look a little bit too big to be sister locks, but I know she does interlock. But those are the two people. Kaya Journey and Patience Edette was the two people, and my locks do not look like either of theirs. This to take it down so you can kind of see it. My locks do not look like either of their locks. Either of their locks. But I love my locks though. So the last one I would say is I wish I would have known in the beginning that there was a difference between a stylist, a loctician, and African braiders. I wish I would have known there was a difference, because not everyone who does African braiding can do interlocking. Not everyone who's a stylist can do natural hair or locks. I wish I would have known that, because I've gone to people who, and this has happened to me twice, who have done my hair the wrong way as far as interlocking. I'm not talking about the dye situation that happened, but just talking about interlocking. So when we talk about interlocking, there was the two people that did my hair the wrong way. How I knew they did my hair like too tight is because my hair was like doubling over itself, and it hurt really, really bad. I'm like, and with me interlocking my own hair, I'm like, it should not feel this way. So I wish I would have known that there was a difference. But yeah, I guess that those are all the things that I wish I would have known before I started locks. So if you're thinking about getting locks, then just make sure you do your research and just know, because I made a lot of mistakes, because there's a lot of things that I wish I just didn't know. There are a lot of surprises that I got, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll probably do one more video before I start back cleaning, but thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as usual, toodaloo, bye bye.